Climate change is one of the biggest challenges mankind has ever faced because year by year, because of these carbon emissions, the climate will be getting hotter. And that means particularly anywhere near the equator, the ability to do outdoor farming or outdoor construction work will become impossible. And so that'll really destabilize people who live in these tropical zones. We have to do two things. We have to stop those emissions. And then in the meantime, we need to help countries adapt to these changing weather conditions. For example, giving them better seeds that can deal with the increased temperature. This meeting, I was at the Paris meeting 6 years ago. This one's, bigger and broader. So there is some attention, but we still have to do a lot more.
The Paris meeting, which happened in 2015, how much progress have been made since then? And how are we going to know that COP26 is a success?
We've deeply engaged the private sector. We've identified the need for innovation and how we get every sector working together to drive that innovation. And we're now paying significant effort to adaptation. Those three things were not there in Paris. I'm not saying that the commitments here are good enough. We need to say over the next 5 years, the same type of increased engagement on the different issues, including the innovation that's focused on the adaptation.
Innovation is something that you discussed in your book you released this year, How to Avoid a Climate Disaster. What sorts of innovation you just mentioned? Seed. What else are you referring to?
The big announcement from us is that we're part of the AIM4C, Adaptation Innovation for Climate Change. A big part of that is this helping the smallholder farmers. A number of countries are announcing increased resources, including President Biden will make significant announcements. We're announcing $315 million over the next 3 years for the seed consortium, which is called the CG system, that makes the seeds for all the different countries. The big priority for that money will be seeds that can be even more productive despite the challenge of climate change. We expect that an additional $1 billion, including our money, will be committed to that effort. That has the potential to benefit literally hundreds of millions of these smallholder farmers.
Some studies show that poor families in developing countries are often the least to blame for man-made climate change. However, they bear the worst of the impact. What are your thoughts on the impact of climate change in underdeveloped countries, especially in a region like Africa?
It's a great injustice. My interest in climate change came from seeing that through our agricultural work in Africa, the farmers were often having a more difficult time. And so they're already facing these difficulties, which will get significantly worse between now and the end of the century. I studied the issue of climate change, and the Gates Foundation took on this adaptation as a big priority. That wasn't getting much attention, so I joined together with some others to create the Commission on Adaptation.
What do you think all of us can do to contribute in this global solution in fighting climate change?
There are products that have lower emissions. It'll be very different in different countries. In the rich countries, we are starting to have food indications of which kinds of food cause what emissions. We have more and more electric cars. For the individual, a political engagement is also important. This is a problem where we have to make near-term investments, even some short-term sacrifice to get the long-term benefit of not having drastic climate change impacts. And so educating people that this is very worth doing, particularly getting young people engaged. We have to start now on this work. It's a tougher problem to solve than even, say, the pandemic was. The pandemic, we invented one tool. We still don't have that out to everyone, but the vaccine gave us a chance to finish over time the pandemic. With climate change, we need lots and lots of tools.
There are those who still don't believe in climate change, whether it's by willful ignorance or factual ignorance. What do you say to them?
The evidence sadly, is getting much stronger. I believe this is a very solvable problem. My experience in these last 6 years is that we really are starting the innovations. I've been able to fund through my breakthrough energy efforts a lot of new companies. And now the next 5 years, we need to take those ideas and deploy them, not just in the rich world, but also in developing countries, including Africa.
Bill Gates, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.